Dear young brothers and sisters of the new generation of Hindustan, Namaskar. Also in today's episode of our exploration of the true history of Hindustan, let us continue to review some other cruel, deadliest, bloodiest, and terrible episodes which happened in Hindustan. In the last episode, we have seen what all was committed by Muhammad bin Qasim and his followers. And this episode, let us review what all terrible activities were committed by other invaders who came to Hindustan. As I have mentioned, another terrible barbarian who came to Hindustan to invade and loot was this terrible person whose name was Muhammad Ghazni. He was also called Ghaznavi, and he lived between AD 1971 and AD 1030. And he invaded Hindustan 17 times from AD 997 to AD 1030 to plunder, to loot massive wealth. And he made his 16th attack on Somanath temple in 1025 just to loot incredible quantity of gold. Here I have extracted from a historical book without making any addition or deletion or modification of this affirmation, just to bring to your kind attention what this person, Ghazni, did after looting and taking away the wealth from Hindustan. He astonished the ambassadors of foreign powers by displaying jewels and unbought pearls and rubies shining like sparks, or like wine congealed or wine frozen with ice, and emeralds like fresh spring methyl, and diamonds in size and weight like pomegranates. Each winter, Muhammad descended into India, filled his treasure chest with loots or plunder, and amused his men with full freedom to pillage and kill. See, I have highlighted these words just to make you think. He amused his men, that is his soldiers, with full freedom to pillage and kill. Each spring he returned to his capital richer than before, and 6 years later, that is in 1031, he sacked another opulent city of Somanath, killed all its 50,000 inhabitants, and he dragged whole wealth to Ghazni. And see, here we have a painting to illustrate what happened in Somanath in 1031. The next one who came to Hindustan to loot the nation's wealth was Sahabuddin Ghori, or he was called also as Muhammad Ghori. Here we have a very good painting of his face, showing the aggressivity and cruelty. Sahabuddin Muhammad Ghori, who also was called Muhammad Ghori, who lived between 1149 to 1212, with his brother Ghiyath ad-Din Muhammad, began to invade Hindustan in 1175. He proceeded towards Anhilwara after conquering Uch in 1176 AD. After that, in 1179, he captured Peshawar and led an expedition towards Punjab and occupied the fortress of Sialkot. Ghori was succeeded by Ghiyas-uddin Balban and then by Muhammad bin Tughlaq. Just to gain some time, I have excluded the details of what all was committed by this Ghiyas-uddin Balban, just because they were all lesser in intensity compared to what was committed by, or what all was committed by Muhammad bin Ghori and the successor of this Balban, Muhammad bin Tughlaq. This is a painting of Muhammad bin Tughlaq, and he lived between 1290 and 1351. And he continuously killed many thousands of Hindus with extreme brutality. To build a new capital at Daulatabad, he drove every inhabitant from Delhi and left it a desert. And hearing that a blind man had stayed behind in Delhi, he ordered to drag him from the old to the new capital, so that only a leg remained to the wretch, that's the rest of the body, when his last journey was finished. Last journey of whom? Last journey of that poor blind man. Just imagine the experience of this blind man who was a citizen of Hindustan. Only his leg, only one leg to which the cord was tied, that remained. And the rest of the body, just imagine. And compare this episode to what all you have seen in Kashmir Files. And these type of terrible episodes were committed by those who declared that they are selected people of a particular God. You can just imagine how terrible that God is. Just think, just meditate in your mind. Now, in these days, I can narrate these stories with historical proof to you without being afraid of anybody. But you know, if I had tried to do so 20 years ago, it was absolutely possible that I could have been arrested and put in a jail. And if it was some years ago, the film Kashmir Files would not have been released. This also you have to keep in mind. The central governments, which came into existence since 1947 until the last few years, never wanted that the citizen of India know the true episode, the most terrible episodes which happened in India. They were all hidden. They were not included in the scholastic syllabus. See, the brutality committed by Hitler in Germany is taught to the children in the school just because this shall not be repeated again. But in Hindustan, the true story was hidden. True story was buried intentionally. So this also you have to keep in mind. The successor of this terrible barbarian Muhammad bin Tughlaq was Firoz Shah Tughlaq. If you feel that this information and some minimum details of this episode, these cruel and brutal episodes which happened in Hindustan are important to be understood by a true son or a true daughter of Hindustan, please share these episodes with your friends and relatives. So thank you for your kind attention to my words. See you in the next episode. Jai Hind.